Hopefully everybody can see my slide deck on navigating MMS for new attendees. Welcome and thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your busy days to learn about MMS and what you might expect to see this coming, well, not this coming week, but the week that we're there in just, 18 days now. So if you guys have, as you guys have questions throughout the presentation, there will be a Q&A section at the very end where you can ask questions live. You can certainly go to the chat area and Greg's going to be there answering questions throughout. I'll hit some questions at the end and you'll be able to ask questions live or you'll be able to just chat them in there and Greg will respond for you. All right. For those who don't know me, my name is Wally Mead. I'm MMS staff. I used to work at Microsoft for 22 years, I think it was, in the SMS and Configuration Manager group. Been retired for a number of years now. My contact information is down at the bottom. Feel free to hit me up. I respond much more quickly to email than I do Twitter. I don't do much of that Twitter stuff, but you're welcome to try. And then you'll see this in all of our slide decks in the presentation and in the event. At the very bottom here, it says if you can't see our slides, if you can't hear, if the speakers don't do a good job of answering your questions or repeating the questions, please call us out, make sure that we know that so we can accommodate you guys as easily as possible. We want this to be a fantastic week for y'all and make it a worthwhile time for you and get everything you can out of the event and go back home to your businesses with a lot of increased knowledge and be able to handle your event. Your environment's a lot better. All right, so with that, we're going to start off with a couple of slides on what's new this year. This presentation is really designed around people who are coming to MMS for the first time, although we're certainly not restricting that. I see a lot of names out there in the attendee list of people that I'm very well familiar with, so that's all cool. So for that reason, we wanted to move a little section up here on what's new for those of you who have attended in the past, just so you can get a real quick overview of what's happening this year that's different from years past. That doesn't mean we want you to check out after this couple of slides, but just to set the stage, and I'll cover most of these things throughout the presentation as well. So first off, you might have noticed that we rebranded MMS. So if you look at the very lower right-hand corner of the slide, you'll see a different MMS logo than you may have seen before if you're looking at old information on the website or for those of you that attended in the past. So it's a little bit of a rebrand, just a clean up, a fix up of the logo and just make things new and fresh for this year. Other changes that you'll see throughout the week when you're in Minneapolis. Discord, a new social media platform, is going to be used for a lot of communications. You'll be able to win prizes, including mini golf tickets, Nickelodeon Universe tickets, MMS passes. Those type of prizes will be awarded through Discord, through your interaction through Discord. You can use it to find people to meet up with for lunch or for dinners. You can use it for all various different things that we've not even thought of yet. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes this year. I know Greg was going to be posting in the chat a link for how to join Discord. In fact, there it is now, and how to get information on it. So if you haven't joined it, you'll want to join that because that's what we'll be doing all of our online communication through Discord this year. And in fact, I think you saw in Greg's notification last year where we announced these sessions. We're going to do one of these sessions next week, same time, same place on Discord. So that'll be just a second option. All right, another change this year is going to be the welcome reception. For those of you that attended in the past, our welcome reception was in the big lakes room, ballroom area. We opened up all the doors, made it one great big ballroom, and we had everything going on in there. The entertainment, the games, the food, just areas for people to sit and chat. This year, we're going to break it up so that different things are happening in different rooms. So you won't want to just hang out in one room. In fact, I got a slide when you get to the welcome reception where it'll show you all the different rooms and what the different activities are going to be in those rooms. So the kind of the purpose behind that is to get everybody familiar with where all the rooms are that we'll be using for the sessions at MMS. In years past, every single day, especially on Monday and Tuesday, the first couple of days of the conference, people would come up and ask us, where's the Nokomis room? Where's Harriet? Where's Minnetonka? So this is going to help you guys out by helping you learn those rooms Sunday night at the reception. The speaker theme this year is Northern Lights. So in the past, you've seen all the speakers wearing, some people call them lumberjack jackets, but plaid, red and black plaid shirts. That's not going to be the case this year. I'll talk more about that a little bit later on. If you've attended the past, you know that we've had camping sessions or cabana sessions or whatever type of names we've had for them. I'll talk more about those later on, but those are being called stargazing sessions this year to go along with the Northern Lights theme. In years past, we had escape rooms. So just a side little fun thing you could do to interact with other speakers or other attendees, going into an escape room at the Mall of America. And we didn't have those for COVID reasons, so we brought them back this year. So that's a cool thing if you like those type of interactions. And lastly, on what's new is drink tickets will be earned via bingo cards and stamps. So you'll get those at registration on Sunday or whenever you do register, and we'll use those for gathering up your stamps, and then that will earn you your drink tickets for the beer sessions that we'll talk about later on. All right, so let's jump into venue logistics, things that you need to know about the venue itself to help navigate it, and then we'll jump into MMS logistics. All right, so the event is at the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota. You should already have your travel plans made, your hotel booked and everything, but the Mall of America is very close to the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport. All the hotels, including the Radisson Blu, if you're staying there, have shuttles from the airport back to the hotel. So that's it's a 5-minute ride. You can take the metro. There's a metro that goes from the airport directly to the Mall of America. You can take bus or there's train ride, the train metro. You can take a taxi, an Uber, a Lyft. Again, it's only 5 minutes, so it shouldn't be terribly expensive. And you can certainly rent a car, but parking is not the easiest there always. And they don't have free parking, so unless you go in the mall area, but out by the Radisson, it's not free parking. So I don't know that I'd do a car rental, but certainly take the metro. Once you get there, you really don't need to venture out anywhere, because we'll talk about it, I think, in the next slide. But the Mall of America is huge, and it's got everything that you might need. So you shouldn't have to go do much venturing. So the Radisson Blu, if you're staying in the Radisson Blu, it's on the south side of the Mall of America. So it's in the mall. You can directly walk from the hotel into the Mall of America. And that's where the event's going to be held, which we'll talk about in a couple more slides. If you're staying at the Country Inn and Suites, it's across the street. So south of the Mall of America, there's an elevated covered walkway that'll take you from the mall over Killebrew Drive over to the Country Inn and Suites. And again, I got a slide on that for you. The mall itself is 4 floors of shopping, dining, entertainment, pleasure for you. So plenty of walking to be done, plenty of shopping to do, and lots of places there to get food. So there's a couple different food courts and a lot of other restaurants there for you to grab food as you need it. So the hotels we already talked about, you're either staying likely at the Radisson Blu or the Country Inn and Suites. Again, the Radisson Blu is in the Mall of America, so right there. You just go down the elevator from your hotel floor down to the second floor, which is the mall entry floor. And just around the corner by the escalator is the entry to MMS. And you go down the expo hall or the Sky Bridge, and that's where you'll register and start some of the proceedings there on Sunday. Again, if you're at the Country Inn and Suites, it's across the street. So you'd go out the front of the Radisson Blu, which is the south side. You're going south, and angle to the left, go through the parking garage, and there you'll find a raised walkway that'll take you across Killebrew Drive and drop you down right in front of the Country Inn and Suites. So it's very, very convenient. It's probably a 5-minute walk from the MMS area over to the Country Inn and Suites. They do provide free breakfast at that hotel, not the Radisson Blu. And then there's an IHOP, International House of Pancakes, right next door to the Country Inn and Suites as well, if you want something a little bit larger for breakfast. If you're staying at some other hotel, I have no idea where you're at and you're on your own because I can't help you out with how to get there. Okay, the MMS location itself is in the Mall of America, Radisson Blue. It's mainly on the second floor. So again, once you get down your elevators to the second floor, you take a quick little ride out of the elevator, you'll take a quick left, and then you'll come to the Sky Bridge. And down the right will be the expo hall, and that's where you'll register down in the Lakes ballrooms. There, a lot of the session rooms are down there. Some will be behind you as you come out of the elevator, straight ahead behind that wall and table that's in front of you. There'll be some session rooms there. And there's a couple of session rooms called Nokomis up on the third floor. So there's stairs behind as you get into the across the hallway from the Sky Bridge. Take a left and go down the Minnetonka and Calhoun and Harriet hallway, and there's stairs there that'll take you up to the Nokomis rooms. So the expo hall is where the vendors are going to be. Stop by and thank them for their support and their participation. And then at the end of that, Sky Bridge is where you'll find the Lakes ballrooms, and that's where registration is going to be. I'll talk about that in a few more slides as well. From years past, I would expect that the session rooms are going to be chilly. They're very proud of their air conditioning in the event area. So I've seen people wearing shorts and t-shirts and flip-flops or some sort of sandals there. I would never do that because I run more on the chilly side. So I'd be wearing pants and a light jacket and keep as much of my skin covered as possible just because the air conditioning is very chilly there. So just expect that. I bring layers because each day might be different. If you find it too uncomfortable, you could let one of the staff know and we can try and get them to change the temperature, but I would just expect it to run on the chilly side there. Also, don't expect there to be power outlets in the session rooms. We want you guys paying attention to the presentations, the questions and answers, and not answering your emails. I know you're there during a work week and you're going to have to do some work. We understand that. So if you really think you have to do that, just plan on having your device charged overnight and don't expect there's going to be a lot of power outlets in the rooms. You might find some by the walls, but fire marshals don't really like people sitting on the floors next to the walls. They like people sitting in the chairs. So just expect there's not going to be any power outlets in the room and have your devices charged ahead of time. Okay, here's a map of the event. So let me go ahead and turn on the laser pointer. So down here in the lower left, I guess that's not the laser pointer, that's a red dart. But down here's the elevators. And when you come out, well, that's the Nokomis rooms up on the third floor. Right here's the elevators. When you come out, there'll be a big table here. They call it the speaker table. All the presenters will be sitting there. So right in here is where all the presenters will be sitting while they're just chatting with attendees and talking. So you're welcome to stop by and talk to anybody you want to. There are some chairs there. And as you go around, here's the escalator, go downstairs. As you go down there, here's the Sky Bridge, and that will take you over to the expo area. So right here is going to be the expo area where it says foyer, right in front of the Lakes ballrooms. And then here's where it says campsites. Those are where the stargazing sessions are going to be. And again, we'll talk about those coming up in a little bit. And then here's the expo hall. Then here's that hallway I was talking about where the Minnetonka, the Harriet, the Calhoun rooms are. And then back here is the stairwell that will take you up to the third level to where the Nokomis rooms are. So you can either stop in the elevator on the third floor, if you know you're going directly there, or if you come down, you'll be able to hop the stairs back there to get up to the third level to the Nokomis rooms. So everything's basically in this one area down here, except for those couple little session rooms upstairs, Nokomis rooms. And again, when we talk about the welcome reception coming up, you'll see that we'll have welcome reception events happening in all these rooms, and you'll want to visit all those rooms to get the full benefit of the layout of where things are, all the different food options, and all the different game and entertainment options that are happening at the event. So, but again, the expo hall, this is where the vendors will be, and this is also where you will find, you'll also find coffee and snacks in the morning and afternoon. We'll be in the expo hall in the Sky Bridge. Okay, logistics for the MMS event itself. Now that we've talked about the location, let's talk about what you're going to expect to have. So this slide is really only pertinent if you've been to other events like Ignite, or if you're oldie and you've been to Tech Ed, or those type of presentations and events, just some of the differences. So there's no keynote session at MMS. Some people always ask us that. And that's what those other events like Ignite are for. They're going to have a keynote presentation with some bigwig coming up on stage and touting the future and what's going on. We want to give you real live, real beneficial stuff that's going to impact you right now, things you can take back and use. There'll be multiple simultaneous sessions to choose from. My slide says 7. I looked this morning and then we're up to 8 now. We might have up to 8 sessions going on at the same time. So that's good and bad. The good thing is you get a lot of options to choose from, so you should be able to find something that really piques your interest. The bad thing is that there may be multiple things going on at the same time that pique your interest. So we want it to be hard for you to choose. We want to have a lot of great, valuable content. Now, one cool thing about that is we do have repeat sessions. So there are some sessions that you'll see on the schedule, we'll say option 1 and option 2, and I'll show you that a little bit later on when I bring up the session list live. So that will help you, because if you find where option 1 of a presentation is, but there's something else you want to go to, maybe option 2 has it's by itself as far as your interest level. So it'll make it easier for you. You can skip option 1 and go to option 2 and get the other session you wanted. Extended Q&A time. So all of our presentations are scheduled for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And it's generally going to be about an hour presentation and demo by the presenters, and then up to 45 minutes of Q&A time. So that means you got plenty of time to ask questions. You got plenty of time to decompress and to process what you heard in the presentation, what you saw, think about it, load up something in your laptop, and then see if it works for you, or go up there and ask a question. So lots of time there. You don't have to rush out and go to the next session right away. You got plenty of time in there to get things taken care of, take all your notes, and then move on to your next thing. Lots of networking opportunities. So our speakers are easily identified. So they're all extremely encouraging for you to come up to them and introduce yourself, talk to them, ask them questions, or just chit chat with them. So that's all great. And as I mentioned, it's a stargazing theme. So you'll see different jackets that we'll be wearing this year as opposed to years past with the lumberjack or the the plaid, black and red plaid shirts we wore. Beer sessions and fun events. So the last session of every day is usually going to be a beer session. You can earn your tickets throughout the day and grab a beer, a glass of wine, whatever it is, and take it into the last session of the day, and just a little more casual, but it's still going to be a very beneficial session for you. And there's other fun events, like I mentioned, the mini golf or Nickelodeon Universe, or there's a beer tour on Sunday if you've registered for that. There's the escape rooms. So lots of opportunities to meet up with other people, including the presenters and Microsoft, to help ask questions or just chit chat. None of our sessions are recorded other than this one. We're recording this one so people that want to watch it again or listen to it again can, or people that missed it can get the information. But the actual presentations at MMS are not recorded. We find, and I knew this from when I was a speaker, you're more open when you know you're not being recorded. So you might be more willing to say, yeah, that's a bug, as opposed to trying to talk around it in a presentation you know being recorded, and somebody from Microsoft might be listening to the presentation. And then Kelsey and her team, you'll meet them at registration. They'll be the gals, and I'm not sure if they're going to be any guys there this year, but her team, they're going to be sitting there all week long, answering questions, doing the registration, handing out tickets and stuff. So they're absolutely fantastic. They don't do the other events like Ignite, so they really are the driving force behind the event. So go up there and say hi to them and thank them for their help as well. On-site registration. I don't know if these hours are going to be exactly what they're doing this year. It's what they did last year. But so again, as you go through the expo hall down the Sky Bridge, straight ahead, you're going to run into the tables where the gals will be sitting there for registration. So you pick up your name badge, pick up your bag of goodies, get logistical information, and just to get yourself going for the week. If you have any questions at all throughout the event, you can always go back there and ask those gals for your questions, and they'll be able to, if they can't answer them, they'll be able to get somebody that can answer your question for you. So So it's in the foyer in front of the Lakes Ballroom, so across the Sky Bridge through the Expo Hall. And again, Sunday last year, it was 12 to 8 p.m. And then Monday and daily, it was 7 to 7. I'm guessing they'll keep somewhat those same type of hours, but we'll find out when we get there, and we'll get them posted on Sunday. As I mentioned, there's a beer tour on Sunday afternoon. You may have already registered for it. I'm sure it's already sold out. It sells out very quickly, or it gets filled for registration. You need a special pass to get on the bus that goes on the tour. And then Sunday late afternoon, evening is the welcome reception. And again, I got a slide coming up on that shortly. That'll give you the more logistics, but we'll have different events, games, food, in each of the different MMS session rooms. And that's, again, to get you familiar with the layout of all the rooms and where everything is, so it makes it easier for you through the rest of the week. And if you see a session up in the Nokomis A, you know exactly where to go. It's also going to help spread out the crowd, so we don't have 500 people or whatever it is all in one room. They'll be milling around through multiple rooms. That also means that you're not going to want to sit in one room. You're going to want to mill around to multiple rooms. You'll see different people hanging out in different rooms, and obviously different food options yet. And then if you find me Sunday during the welcome reception, I don't know where I'm going to be, if I'm going to be hanging out in one room or if I'm going to be cruising around all the different rooms, but I'll have my laptop with me, and that's where you'll be able to sign up for your initial stargazing session. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later on. Okay, the welcome reception again is Sunday the 30th at 5 p.m. So you definitely want to be there for that. That's where you're going to get your week kicked off. In a nice casual fashion. Food will be provided, drinks will be provided, and there'll be a lot of entertainment, as you can see. So again, in the past, we've had this all in one room. They're breaking up into every single session room. There'll be different things going on. And on here, you'll see the rooms and then what type of either food or drink or entertainment's going on in all those rooms. So lots of things happening and going on. So I would certainly be hitting up all of those rooms and finding out what's in all of those and checking things out. You see the room there, Harriet, dessert lounge. That may be where you find me hanging out most of the time, since I'm a big dessert guy. So I might be there. I don't know. We'll find out where they decide they want to stick me. Now, sessions, Monday morning, 8 a.m. and every morning at 8 a.m. we're going to start our sessions. Oops, this slide still says 7. I thought I changed it to 8. There may be up to 8 different unique sessions you can choose from. So I know Greg sent out a poll a week or so ago for you guys to start voting on your sessions, and that was to help figure out what rooms to put these sessions in. The sessions with higher number of votes were going to be in the larger rooms, so they had more seats available. But you'll be able to register for your sessions, and we suggest that you do attend the sessions you sign up for. Because again, we did put these in specific rooms based on your votes and our guesses on how big they're going to be. So we do suggest you attend the sessions you signed up for. However, if you're in that session, it's been 10 minutes and you said, well, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be. It doesn't match the abstract, which is not a good thing, but it's just not right for you. Absolutely feel free to get up and leave and head off to some other session you want to go to. Now, you have to check and see if that session's got room, because it may be filled. And again, we don't want people sitting on the floors if we don't have to. So just check that out before you go in there. But we do highly suggest that you attend your sessions unless they're not meeting your needs. I already mentioned the sessions are an hour 45 in length, so you got about an hour or so of presentation, demonstration, and the rest of the time for Q&A. So you got lots of time to ask your questions. You guys are more than welcome to answer questions. So if one of your fellow attendees asks a question, feel free to pop up and say, hey, yeah, I encountered that same thing, and here's what I did to fix that problem in my environment. Absolutely feel free to do that. This is more of an interactive time, not just a presenter spouting or spewing out knowledge time. So feel free to interact in those environments. The final session of each day is a beer session. So get your tickets by completing the bingo cards throughout each day, and then pick up your beer at right outside the rooms, and then head on in have a libation while you're getting knowledge. And then again, we mentioned escape rooms are coming back, so they'll be able to have more information on scheduling of those and which rooms are being used for which days and which time slots when you get to registration. And you're only allowed to sign up for one. We want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to get a escape room if they wish. There'll be lunch sessions. This slide says Tuesday and Thursday. I think when I looked at the discussion schedule this morning, they're about every day now they have some lunch sessions going on. There's a couple different types. There'll be real presentation type sessions going on. And there'll also be what they call Nerds of a Feather. So Nerds of the Feather are more just a casual Q&A type thing. Some topic will be going on, but and they'll have presenters there that'll be kind of moderating it, but it's more of a time for you guys to interact with each other and ask each other questions or offer suggestions or say, hey, yeah, I'm trying to do this. I can't figure this out, but we got them posted on the schedule now, and they'll give you different topics such as configuration manager Intune or mobile devices or Azure security or whatever it is. So you can find those, and those will be during the lunch hour as well. Now, obviously, 12 to 1 is the official lunch break, but you can leave anytime you want to. Lunch is not provided at MMS, so you're on your own for your meals. But you can go out to the Mall of America, and there's a couple of different food courts that I mentioned that are available for you to grab a quick bite and then head on back. And if you know there's a Nerds of a Feather or lunch session you want to attend, you can go out early and grab some lunch and eat and bring it back to the room or the session room and eat in there, or just eat and then come back whatever you want. As I mentioned, coffee and snacks will be provided in the expo hall each day, morning and afternoon. And the expo hall will be open for the start of sessions each day and run through the end of the sessions each day. So plenty of time for you to go and interact with the vendors that are there. Again, thank them for their participation and their support and sponsorship of the event, because we need those guys there to help handle this event. And the final session ends Thursday around 6:30 p.m. Okay, I think I saw a bunch of things flying back and forth about the stargazing sessions. So let's spend a minute talking about those. For those of you that attended in the past, those were called camping sessions, or in Miami, they were cabana sessions. I think at the Desert Edition down here in Arizona, where I'm at now, they were called cabana sessions. But they're separate 20-minute slots where you can register only through me. You can't register online. You have to come and find me, and I have to slot you into a session where you can either sign up to talk to Microsoft, the product group, or specific speakers or specific topics for speakers. And you get 20-minute session there where it's just you, or if you want to bring some coworkers with you, and that's fine, but it's just you interacting with either Microsoft product group or specific speakers, asking them questions, showing them your console, saying, hey, I got this problem, I can't figure it out, or I'm trying to do this, I don't know how to do this, or I want to design this and I'm not sure what the best design is. But it's 20 minutes for you to interact with them however you need to. These have been fantastic in the past, especially through working with the product group. A lot of people bring issues that they have to the product group, and they'll identify them as bugs. And sometimes the developers that are there, they actually fix those bugs at MMS. So one of the last sessions they have on Thursday will be the product group showing you all the changes that they made in the product based on your feedback throughout the week. Now, that doesn't mean you'll be able to get that code fixed there, because they have to go through further testing and quality control and everything else before they push it out in the product through their update procedure. But you can see that they make progress on that product through it. So it's been extremely popular. Again, you get 20-minute sessions. Please show up for what you sign up for, because these fill up very quickly, and it's always a pain to have them all booked and then people don't show up because they wind up forgetting about it, or they wind up liking the session they're in. So absolutely, if you sign up for a session, show up. If you decide you're not going to attend your stargazing session, come back and let me know so I can open it up for somebody else. Because I'll always have people, especially towards the end of the week, hanging around me looking to see if anything opens up so they can get in there and ask their question. For the Microsoft product group, it'll be anything goes as far as the product. So bring your laptop and show them your console, or they'll have a laptop and a console that can show you things, how things work. For the speaker tents, there are going to be the 2 speaker tents this year and the 1 Microsoft tent. The 2 speaker tents are going to be anything goes format, although we'll group speakers by subject, such as security or mobile devices or reporting or whatever it is. So you'll be able to say, I want to talk to Greg. I want to talk to Kent. I want to talk to Rod. You can do that, or you say, I need to talk to somebody about getting my mobile devices registered, and we'll likely have a speaker session for that. Otherwise, if you just want to say, hey, I just want to talk to Greg. So when Greg is signed up for a session, I don't think he probably isn't because he's got plenty of other things going on, but just for example, and you just want to chit chat with Greg, you can sign up for that 20-minute slot and just go in there and chit chat with Greg. So again, you can only sign up through me. You can see them on Sched, but you can't sign up for them on the schedule. You have to come and find me anytime as of the welcome reception on Sunday. You'll be able to start signing up. You can only sign up for 1 at a time. So 1 each day you can sign up for, so you can only have 1 active registration. So after you've finished a session, you come back to me and say, hey, Wally, can I sign up for 1 tomorrow? And that, if there's room, that's fine. And then after Sunday, I will be stationed right outside down in the foyer, the Lakes Ballroom past the expo hall where the campsites or stargazing area is. And I'll be standing there with my laptop, and I'll be checking people in. So when you come for your session, check in with me. Say, hey, Wally, I'm Greg. I'm here for my 8:25 session with Microsoft, or my 8:40 session with Greg. And I'll get you checked in, and I will kick out people when their time's up, and I'll get you in right away, and I'll kick you out when your time's up if people are waiting after you. Sometimes you luck out, nobody will sign up after you, so you can have extra time, but you don't have to take the whole 20. Sometimes people come in, they're only in there for 3 minutes because they had a very quick question, and that's fine too. But check in with me, and I'll get you in and get you out, and then I'm the one you're going to register with. So Sunday at the welcome reception, or throughout the week down by those the campsites, and I'll see if I can get you registered for one. And at the very bottom of that slide is a link to the stargazing sessions on the website. Okay, just the last couple of slides we have. Future dates. Yes, MMS is going to happen again, and it's possible, as some of you may have experienced, it may happen in multiple places throughout the year. So we've already announced the Miami Beach edition coming up later on this year. So the very end of October up to November 1st. So it's in Miami Beach. We did that last year as our first remote one in a few years. We took the COVID years off, but that worked out very well. A little more hot and humid than Minneapolis. So I didn't mention this when I talked about the weather, but in the rooms, it's Minneapolis. It's late April, early May. So the weather could be anywhere from 50 degrees up to 75 degrees outside. I did mention that you may not need to go outside, but if you do want to go outside, check the weather forecast, obviously, before you fly and see what it has for the week. But as of right now, I'd say it's usually in the upper 50s to mid 60s. And we've lucked out fairly well with some decent weather as far as not too much rain, but just be prepared for it. Now, Miami Beach, it was a little more hot and humid there than it was in Minneapolis. So we have that. And then MMS at the Mall of America again. The dates are the 5th to the 9th of May of next year. As of right now, our expectation is every first week of May we'll be at the Mall of America. And then as we see necessary, we'll do a remote edition. We've done Scottsdale, Arizona. We've done New Orleans, and we've done Miami Beach. So we've done some of those. So we may have another one coming up next year. But as of right now, these are the 2 that we have scheduled. Okay, then last real slide before we just get to the Q&A, code of conduct. We have to have this in there. We want everybody to feel safe at this event. We don't want any kind of negative things going on. So let me just, I'm going to read this verbatim for you, and I'll just talk about it real quickly after that. So the code of conduct. MMS seeks to create a respectful, friendly, and professional experience for all participants. As such, we do not tolerate harassing or disrespectful behavior, messages, images, or interactions by any event participant in any form at any aspect of the program, including business and social activities, regardless of location. We encourage everyone to assist in creating a welcoming and safe environment. Please report any concerns, harassing behavior, suspicious or disruptive activity to the nearest security guard or event staff. MMS reserves the right to refuse admittance to or remove any person from MMS at any time in its sole discretion. In other words, don't be a jerk. Go there, have fun, but be respectful of other people. Be considerate of other people. Think about other people's feelings. Don't say things that you shouldn't be saying. Don't do things you shouldn't be doing. Just have fun. If you see anything or if you're a victim of anything, again, go to hotel employee, go to Kelsey and her team at the registration booth, find any speaker, find me out by the camping sessions, or Greg's always running around. Brian, you'll see him running around on a Segway all the time. Find any of us and let us know and we'll take care of it. So please do not be afraid to let us know if you see anything or encounter anything that should not be happening. We get a ton of returners every year, and that's partly because we do have such a fantastic staff, as well as a very, I don't want to say tight security, but we do keep a reins on things. We try and keep things at the professional level, but still having fun. All right. I've been hearing this beeping going on throughout the entire time I've been talking, so there's tons of questions out there. I'm sure Greg has got them all answered, and I saw some other people answering questions as well. But now is the official Q&A time, so you can unmute and ask your questions live. I know you guys have already been using the chat feature going on throughout the presentation. The alias, the email address for the event staff is info@mmsmoa.com. And then the FAQ, I have that listed as well here. So you can do any of those. I'm going to advance one more slide just for reference. And you'll see this should be the last slide. You see all the presentations, extended Q&A time. This is where you've got your 45 minutes or whatever it winds up being of time to ask your questions, offer your suggestions, help answer other people's questions in the Q&A at the end of a presentation. So. Greg, if you had any specific ones in there you want to mention, that's time to do so. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find anything in that chat. It's much deeper that's all going on.
Yeah, I've answered most there, Wally. Well, I think I've answered all, but I'll just highlight a couple. You covered everything really well. I'll just mention a couple of things to reiterate. So the stargazing sessions, those are a huge thing. And like Wally said, previously we called them camping sessions. This is really that opportunity to have that one-on-one conversation. Don't be bashful. Please step up, get those scheduled as early as you can in the week, because yeah, they are hard to come by. And of course, Wally, as Wally said, if you can't make it, let us know as well, because there's always people looking to try to squeeze into a session. So I posted a link to give you a little more detail on stargazing, and I'll post that again here as once I stop talking. And then one other thing I wanted to mention for the beer tour. We hadn't told you yet, Wally, but we haven't posted that just yet. So we will be posting. Yeah, so we will be posting it. So stay on social. It's very limited, sells out really quickly, but we'll be posting for people to register for that too. Not exactly sure when just yet. We do keep it a mystery, but I would assume within the next week or so, we'll probably be posting that. And then one other thing I wanted to mention, just food in general. If this is your first time at MMS, MOA, it is different than a lot of conferences because you are on your own for food mostly. So you'll, want to go into the mall or other things. So think of that. We have food at some, like our welcome reception, and there's maybe some snacks throughout the day, but you'll need to plan to make sure you go out and get some food in the mall or go to the Fire Lake or something like that as you need to.
Yep. I kind of glossed over that, but yes, food, we don't provide for breakfast. That's why I mentioned it. The Country Inn and Suites does. There's plenty of places at the mall where you can get some breakfast. Same thing for lunch. We don't provide lunch. All we provide is a welcome reception food. and then the coffee and snacks in the morning and afternoon in the expo hall. Outside that, you are on your own for meals throughout the day. But there is the Firelight Grill that I kind of showed on the map. Let me just go back to that map real quick, and I can show you that. There we go, laser pointer. Here. Let me erase all this other garbage. There we go, and go back to laser pointer. So right here is the Firelight Bar and Grill. So right after you get off the elevator, take a sharp right and 180, and there's Fire Lake. And again, here's the expo hall area here, and it's right there. So they got food and drinks there, and they do provide breakfast there as well. So you got that, or you cruise down the Mall of America out there, and you're on the second level. I don't recall much for food. The coffee shop that was right down the hall, the Caribou Coffee, it's closed apparently. There are, last time I was there and counted, there were 7 different Caribou coffees in the mall, and it was 2 or 3 Starbucks. So there's still plenty of opportunity there to get coffee, or breakfast items. And again, there's 2 different food courts up on the 4th level or 3rd level, up 1 level from where we are. So you just take the escalator up right out. If you keep going down this little hallway right here, you'll come to you'll see Legoland right in front of you, some huge Lego statues. Take the escalator up, and there's a food court right there, and lots of options there. And as you go on the basically directly opposite of where we are, on the north side of the mall, there's another big food court with a lot of options as well. And there's some restaurants, full restaurants on the 3rd level. There's also some down on the 1st level. So 2nd level, as I recall, is all shopping other than some coffee. I think one of the Starbucks is on the 2nd level. But outside that, you're on your own for food. And as Greg mentioned again in the Stargazing sessions, yes, those do fill up quickly. So come find me Sunday at the welcome reception to get your first one scheduled. And then after you've done your first one, you can come back and find me again and say, hey, I need to schedule another one. I need a follow up, or maybe I had to kick you out at the end of your 20 minutes. So I need more time. And then I can go ahead and try and schedule again. But that's only done through me.
And another question. Sorry, another question came up. Wally was talking about presenter slide availability, and they will be available after the conference. We try to get them posted before as well. And feel free to poke your speaker if you don't see them at the time that the session is going on, because we really want you to look at those slides and help you, decide if that session is right for you. So we do work to get our presenters to get their slides posted the week prior, but you'll find that in the session description. They're downloadable from there, and then we'll certainly round up speakers and make sure that they get them posted post MMS as well if there are any updates or things like that.
Yeah, we push them really hard to get them done ahead of time, but you guys have gone to sessions, if you've been to MMS before, you're seeing, I won't mention any names, Garth Jones, or somebody else, they're modifying Garth's really good about it, but they're modifying your slides up on the stage right when you guys are walking in. So you'll see some changes from what you might see posted ahead of time to the final deck. So we'll get the final decks after they're done presenting, and they've got all their input added into it. And they may have some sample code they want to attach to it and so on. We'll get all that posted, and it'll go back onto the schedule site along with the session. So when you go look at that session link again, that's where you find all the attachments for the slide deck and any sample codes that are providing.
And then one other thing that Wally mentioned on the front slide, and I'll just say it again, we always work with our speakers to make sure that they're, have the right font size, and they're not, drilling into code that you can't read from the back of the room and things like that. Please speak up. That's why we put it right on the slide, because we want to remind the speakers as well. Yeah, see that? Can't see our slides. We really do want to make sure, right? And speakers in hindsight would wish you would tell them as well. So if you're having trouble seeing something, or if they're not repeating the question, just help remind them. We remind them all week as well, but definitely give them speakers feedback. This helps our speakers, grow as well.
Yeah, shout out at them to use Zoomit or something else, to the magnifier, something to pull up the things higher resolution for you, so you can see, or a higher font size so you can see better. Yep.
And while I can't remember, were you going to show Sketch? If not, I can
yes,
show it
I
for a
was.
moment.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was going to. So let me go back to share, and
While you're getting there, I'll mention a couple things. So with Sketch, this is our site, and Wally will navigate through here in a minute. There were a couple questions. There is an app you can install on Android or iOS. Last time I used it was a little kludgy. You got to hit the refresh button or something like that, but it's definitely helpful in your pocket. I find the web app actually works pretty well for me as well, though. But yeah, Wally, if you can give a little navigation here, this would be great.
Sure. Thanks for that reminder. I forgot about that. So you'll see here it's 8 a.m. On Monday, and you'll see if you count that up, there's 8 sessions already available. It'll give you the title. You can hover over it, and it'll pop down with a little bit of description for you and shows you who the speakers are. And off to the right here, it says limited. That means there's limited capacity left available in it. So enough people registered for it. We're starting to get filled up in space. Here you'll see one where it's Windows Autopilot into the weeds. It says option 1. So if you have something else on Monday 8 a.m. and you want to attend this one but you can't, just go look and find option number 2 for it. But you can always click on one of these and it'll bring up the full list for you, more information for you about it. Tells you what room they're in, and if they've got their decks or anything posted already, you'll be able to find them here. Outside
And while
that,
you're there,
oh,
while you're there, if you can go back to one of those, Wally, you'll also, when you scroll down there, you'll see that little feedback section. We always really want our attendees to submit this, and we'll have like full conference feedback at the end as well. But our speakers love to get some feedback, and certainly if you're giving them a frown, if you can give them some good reasons or constructive, feedback as to why or how to, make it better, that would be great. But our speakers love to get that feedback as well.
and so do the staff, because that's how we know that this person is a presenter worthy of being at MMS, because we want high quality people here. We want people that you're able to understand, you're able to learn from, they're energetic, they're engaging, they get points across well. We need to know that stuff, so for future planning purposes. So yes, absolutely. But yeah, so back here, so here's the brewery tour. Oh, it says filling. Don't know how, but anyway. Oh, this is last year. Sorry, it went back to last year's. Okay. It was weird because I didn't see it before. So welcome reception, but so option 1, and then I don't know if we have anything in here where it says it's probably nothing that's filled yet, but it'll say at capacity or few seats left, or it'll say it's filled, whatever.
Yeah, the reason they say limited is because we put a cap on them, so it automatically puts limited on them. But yeah, I'm checking with Brian right now to see if we can open this up. I saw a couple chats that says they can't register just yet because we have it locked. So we just got the schedule placed, but I'll find out here, and we'll definitely announce and send out something on that too.
Yeah, and then Sunday, once we get to the welcome reception, then this is going to fill up with all the stargazing sessions. And again, you won't be able to register for those. You have to come find me, but then you'll see all the 20-minute slots in here. They'll start from 8 a.m. to go to like 4 p.m. I haven't heard what we're going to do for timing this year, but it's usually about 8 to 4 where there's sessions. And so every 20 minutes, there'll be different stargazing sessions, 2 for speakers and 1 for Microsoft. So their schedule will get a little more, not complicated, but a little more expanded because you have a lot more options of things in there. So, but this is where you guys will be living throughout the week. Either Greg mentioned on your phone app or the website here, like I'm at, seeing what sessions are available, then hovering over them to get more information, see who the speakers are, or clicking on it, getting more detailed information, and then do your feedback through it. Here you can see some of the nerds of the feather that I mentioned, and 1 lunch session on Monday. And then the yellow sessions are kind of goldish sessions, or the beer sessions. So there'll be 2 of those at the end of the day that you can choose from. So yeah, you'll be doing a lot of your looking through here. And this is, again, where you'll be able to go and click on a session. And then once they've got the slides posted, the slides will be down here. You'll be able to download the slides and any other code samples that they have going along with their slides.
We like for you to get social as well. If you haven't followed Twitter, you'll find a lot of us on Twitter. Of course, Discord, LinkedIn, hashtag MMS MOA. Feel free and please chip in. If you're in sessions, speakers may ask you not to share a certain slide or whatever. Generally speaking, things are pretty shareable, but yeah, definitely we ask you to respect them if there's certain things they ask you to not, post. But largely, we love to see the chatter and the people talking about MMS online.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll show you here is when you're looking at the schedule list of sessions, if you're only interested in a specific area, we have the filtering over here on the side. So if you're only a config manager Intune guy, it's gonna be red, so you can click on that and it'll filter and just show you all the sessions by that topic. So it's easier for you to find things that meet your interest level. So that helps you out as well. But yeah, that's where you want to go for those type of scenarios. And I guess, oh, there, stop sharing. Okay.
Any other questions people have?
All right, we still have a few more minutes if people have questions. If not, I know we've dropped a bunch of people already. Well, not that many. So only dropped like 9 or 10 people. So
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to unmute and ask questions live if you want to, or go back in the chat and ask questions. Otherwise, if you're done, then that's what we have for you today. Greg will get this recording posted once he trims off some of the garbage at the beginning. So we started at like 15 minutes early. That'll get posted for if you want to review things or listen to it again or share it with a coworker that wasn't able to attend. Again, there's another session next Tuesday, the same time. That'll be on Discord. And other than that, we'll look forward to seeing you guys in what, 19 days, 18 days? Yeah, 18 days at the welcome reception, probably before that on Sunday, the 29th. But come around, look for us. I haven't even seen, Greg, what do our stargazing session or our apparel look like this year?
A little bit of an aurora borealis kind of look. So you'll see some,
Are they
greens
blazers?
and what's that?
Are they blazers like suit jackets?
I think it's more of a hoodie type of sweatshirt type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
not even seen them yet. So you'll be able to,
Yeah.
you'll see us running around in those as of Sunday. So easy to find us, but find anybody wearing those. There'll be speakers, there'll be staff, and introduce yourself, say hi. And if you got any questions at all, please absolutely find one of us and ask questions. At a minimum, go to the registration table and hit up Kelsey or one of the other gals, or if there's any guys there this year, ask questions there. Um, Make sure that you guys don't go around the week confused and frustrated because you haven't got questions answered. Find somebody, ask your questions. We can always escalate it to somebody else if we don't know the answer. So you'll be able to find somebody that will get the answer for you. If you are in a session and you weren't able to get an answer to your question, or you didn't feel like asking question in that session in front of everybody else, which please don't be afraid of that. If you've got the question, somebody else has the question as well. But if you are leery of that, or if you want to show something that's proprietary, then sign up for one of those stargazing sessions, because that's a one-on-one time with you and the product group or speakers. And they'll know not to be, they understand PII stuff. So you feel free to share your console and so on and ask your question. But please don't go home without getting your questions answered. That's one of the big themes of MMS is your ability to get your questions answered. You want to go back home feeling better than when you came as far as your knowledge level. So please let us know what we can do to help you out in that area.
Yeah, and just to add, one of the questions in the chat was, what's your one best thing for a newbie? And there's been some great chatter in here, people talking about, it's like a giant user group. Thanks, Angie, for mentioning that. And I would say, as soon as you can in the week, try to start making connections, because I think what we find is that come Thursday, people are like, man, I wish I had started this conversation on Sunday. So definitely, it's hard to get out of your shell sometimes, but if there's people hanging around in the receptions and they're not talking to anybody, they're probably looking for somebody to talk to. They're hanging out because they would like to. So if you can come out of that shell, or come find me or someone, right? Come find a speaker and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody to talk about such and such, and we'll help you make some connections, because we really do. We want you to get those connections early in the week so you can have those community times, lunch times, get those questions, get those answers. because to me, that's the biggest benefit of the conference is really the connections that you make. And like I said, the earlier in the week you can do those, the better.
The welcome reception Sunday is a great time to start that process. Then you got all
Yep.
week to have a buddy to sit with, to bounce questions off of, or ideas off of, or somebody to go to lunch with, and navigating that big mall of America. So great time to start that process.
Yep. And there's even a channel in Discord for lunch. So if you're looking for a lunch buddy, there you will be able to find that there too. So, and we are going to have a session about navigating on Discord as well. And then like Wally mentioned, next week's session, we're going to present through Discord. But definitely start getting your feet wet there. There's some channels that are open to everybody, and some once you've registered, basically you're an attendee for MMS. So there's some channels that are only available to attendees. But yes, Mike Davis, you're the guaranteed buddy. So yeah, and I see Nicholas. I think we'll always know where to find Mike and Nicholas. And they say they'll be at the Fire Lake every night. But
There we go.
it's good community. Yep. Any other questions? Non-technical sessions. We've talked about, and we may get a couple over what we call our NOF sessions, or Nerds of Feather, or Birds of Feather over lunch. We've always looked at having a few of those. And honestly, this year we've talked about it, and I think we have a few that we haven't posted. And now that you've reminded me, I'll go back and ask some questions around that. But we did have a couple kind of career-focused non-technical sessions we plan on posting.
Good question. All right, if nothing else, I guess we can go ahead and end this puppy. It took us almost a full hour, so thank you all for spending a hour of your day with us. I know some of you it's late in the day because maybe some Europeans out there or East Coasters, it's your lunchtime now. So you guys all have a fantastic day and a great couple of weeks, and we'll see you in 18 days. And be sure to come up, and again, if you haven't met Greg or myself or any of the other speakers, I saw Angie on there and Chris and Garth, and I don't know who else was on there, but go meet people, talk to people. We're all there to interact and try and help you out. So take it. Don't ask me any questions, technical questions anymore. I don't remember that stuff, but don't do that. But you're welcome to come up and say hi. And again, I can get you into the stargazing session. So you guys have a fantastic couple of weeks, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks all. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks everybody.